What's up? What's up? Aunt Davis.
What's going on?
Nothing much, nothing much. I'm glad that you agreed to do this with me
Oh
because I've been
yeah.
I've been laughing at you for a minute,
I
and
appreciate that. I
and,
appreciate that.
and I appreciate it because it's not it's not all raunchy and a bunch of cussing. Because I think if somebody can crack you up and they're not using all of that, that's talent.
Man, I tell you, I appreciate it. I know it's definitely for other people it's different. It's definitely different for me not to hear no raunchiness, not to get a whole bunch of girls in the video. Cause I always feel like when I watch videos, it's like, where you get all these girls from? Like, where these girls come from? You know what I mean? And then, but I try to be different. My whole motto is to appeal to a family audience. So
Okay,
I grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s kid. So
okay,
I used to love the, Family Matters, TGIF, Fresh Prince. I used to love
right.
stuff like that. So that's just my background. I wanted to create a platform where everybody could watch. Now I love it because you get a lot of the parents who say their kids like me, and they,
That's dope.
older people love me. So it's always good. So I got a season of, and even the other side, you know, the white
Yeah.
people they like me a little bit. So
The vanilla folks be liking you too.
the vanilla folks like me too.
That's one of my friends say the vanilla people.
I'm gonna start using that. That's hey, the vanilla folks.
Give Nikki Geo her credit. Yeah, I was gonna ask you. That's a good point as far as what you used to watch on TV. What were some of your like comedy influences then and now?
So I'm gonna tell you, my biggest one is Living Color. Living Color had like a gumbo pot of just comedians. It was Jim Carrey, Tommy Davidson, Jamie Foxx, the Waynes, the whole Waynes crew.
Yeah.
And so I was big on sketch comedy growing up. Loved them. I watched them. I mean, I couldn't watch them because my parents were very religious, so they was always turn that down, turn it off, and so I used to sneak and watch it all the time. But that was my comedic influence. Is just the whole cast. The whole cast is hilarious.
Wow. Yeah, I used to love that show. So what about now? Because I know things are so different now. It's like it's a whole like a turnaround. So what do you kind of like now?
Um, right now, I'm gonna be honest. Not a lot of people. I've had like so. I worked with Kev on stage. We
Mhm.
used to do a lot of stuff back in the day. We used to be the playmakers, and we
Mhm.
used to do. That's how I got my start. We used to do a lot of YouTube videos, and so he's kind of one of my favorites right now, just
Mhm.
because we're in the same vein, and he can
Mhm.
do stuff without like curse. He's clean.
Mhm.
He's definitely the stuff is family oriented. So he's one of my biggest ones. But that's pretty much it. Like I don't really have a lot of people that just I enjoy looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's I got a variety, and I just recently found one guy. His name is Sam Spetty.
Sam's Betty.
He's Nigerian or African, and
Okay, okay.
oh my god, you gotta check him out. He's absolutely hilarious, and there's no cussing or anything in it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you know who I like too? I like Country Wayne. Country
yeah,
Wayne,
he's
Country Wayne is funny too. So I
he
like
is funny.
it's a clean comedy too.
Yeah,
So I definitely enjoy Country Wayne as well.
yeah, definitely. So as far as YouTube is concerned, I noticed on your YouTube channel that the like your very first videos were some kids,
Oh
and
yeah.
and it was called Kids Only. Tell me about.
Yeah. So we had a project a long time. They were my stepsons at that time, and we were trying to create like a kid show, but they didn't like doing it, and I was not about to force them no more. So
Right.
I felt like Joe Jackson, like get in here, sit down, do this video, shut up, all that talking. And but yeah, it didn't pan out. They didn't like it, so I just started creating my own stuff on there. And then
Mhm.
I also this year I did a web series on there too as well. So it was a web series that my friend and I we wrote. D Chevelle, we wrote it together and we
Mhm.
put it out, and we did 5 episodes, and they went well. So that's my whole goal. I really want to create more content like that, like sketch comedy shows or web series or TV
Mm-hmm.
shows to put on that platform.
So glad. My babies are finally here all together.
My mom's cooking skills have been MIA since I came out the womb. Ugh. Mom, what is this?
Poor man's delight.
I wish we had a dog to feed this to.
Oh, poor man. Don't feed me that. I die. Mom, so listen, we're gonna get you.
That's what's up. In your local community, what's it like doing comedy out there? Are you pretty much internet based, or do you ever do any like stand up shows or venues or anything?
I do. I do a lot of. Last time I did stand up because the pandemic is shutting everybody down.
Right.
But I did a virtual comedy show. Let me tell you, that was the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life. I did stand up in my garage. I set up the mic system, got me a little background, and was in there, and like I was talking to myself. So it was like, all right, two men walking to a bar. It was just real different. And I was nervous because I'm like, it's just kind of hard to not do it in front of people. I wanted to do it in front of people. So that was different. It was definitely an experience in itself. I probably wouldn't do that again.
Was it live or was it?
No, it was pre-recorded.
So that was even more weird.
Oh my goodness! Let me tell you something. It was weird. I was talking to the people in the garage. I was talking to stuff in the garage, like the refrigerator, the boxes.
Well, I know they was cracking up.
Man, they was doing something. The refrigerator was cracking up or something. I don't know.
Wow. So when you actually uploaded it to where, whatever platform it was on, how did it do?
They said it did good. I couldn't get on it because the setup that the guy had, I couldn't really look at it. I guess it's because I wasn't following him.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at it. It was cool. I definitely critique myself. As a comedian, you critique yourself pretty hard. But I feel like that was the hardest because it was just like, there was nobody there. What do you expect me to do?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the hardest. So that's the last comedy show I did since the pandemic. Everything else has been before.
Mm-hmm.
But the stand-up has been amazing. I actually love stand-up. I wasn't really crazy about it at first.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah, I wasn't really crazy about it at first, but I love to make people laugh. That's just my whole, that's why I think I'm here on this earth. After I was dropped a couple times by my mama, I realized that I'm a little funny. I should make people laugh. So yeah, it's definitely now it's enjoyable more than ever.
That's what's up. When did you actually realize you were funny?
Okay, let me tell you. So I knew I was funny when my mom used to force me to, I was the kid that they forced to go downstairs to entertain the company. Get down here and dance for him. Get down. Threatened with the belt.
Yeah.
So at first I was doing my dances. My dad was always, to this day, he calls me Jeter. Remember Jeter from, what was that? It was a Jungle Fever. Samuel L. Jackson played Jeter. And he was in there. He was in there dancing for money. He ended up getting shot by Ozzie Davis. And it was like, dance, Jeter, dance. So my dad still calls me Jeter to this day because.
So I was you entertaining the family.
They had me entertaining the family, but then I started telling my stories about stuff that happened and stuff, and they was cracking up. So my mom was like, "I'm the one that started all this. That's me." So I need my right. I need my 10%. I need my 10%. All the time. So yeah, that's kind of how I started. Just started young, started doing. My family is, I think to me, the family is always the hardest because, family members, they'll tell you the straight up truth. No, you suck. You're terrible.
Sometimes, unless, well, maybe that'd be the vanilla people. But anyway, some people be lying to their people. Got them out here looking crazy.
No, my family is from the hood, south side of Chicago. So they will tell you straight up, no, listen, it wasn't funny. Just stop it. Just go ahead and wash these dishes and stuff like that. You ain't that funny. I've heard funnier.
Right. I was looking at one of your videos where you was calling the police on white people.
It was black people calling the police on white people, right?
Black people call it. What was Oh man.
And we never do that. But I just imagined if we did, how we would sound.
That's it. Listen, I'd like to report a bunch of Karens and Margarets. They're out here letting dogs lick them in the mouth. They tongue kissing these dogs out here. That's nasty. Yeah, I see them right now. Yep. Oh, she saw me. But she over there. Yep, she tonguing them. Oh, that's just so disgusting. Yeah, come down. Oh, yeah, I like to make a report today. There's a bunch of kids out here, a bunch of white kids out here calling their parents by their first name. Yep. He had called her Lisa and then passed out on the ground because he couldn't get what he wanted. Oh, I would have did something to him, but I can't. So you can just come pick him up right now, please. Hey, I like to report it now. You can come quick because they out here doing the Cupid shuffle with no rhythm. It's just all necks and shoulders, no hips, no nothing, just in one place. If you could, and they ain't even snapping. They ain't even snapping right.
Right.
People call the cops on them. So
which actually made it look like, you see how stupid this is? Like, why are you calling about little simple stuff,
Right. And I hope that people got that. Like, yeah, I was joking, but I just want you to understand that at the same time, it's stupid. Like, why are we even calling cops on people over a barbecue? Like,
right.
For real?
Yeah.
Come over and get some. If you talk to us, you might get some.
Right.
So yeah, that's crazy.
So how with this pandemic, how have you been coping with it?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I want to get out. I want to get out and do stuff. Like I don't know how people do it, but I definitely been working. I'm actually working on a couple of projects right now. Like, man, maybe like 10. Matter of fact, when I get off the phone with you, I got to do another project. We're working on a TV show idea, and then I'm working on a podcast that I'm doing. So I do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I keep myself busy because if I sit in this house all day, I'm gonna drive myself crazy.
Wow.
I'm gonna drive myself crazy. So yeah, just trying to keep myself busy, remaining focused, because eventually when this stuff opens up, you got to be a better you. If you're not a better you, then it's gonna be a problem. So I tell people that all the time. You sitting in the house moping and depressed, you need to create stuff, make it happen. Because when this stuff is over, what you gonna do?
You sound like an Everest commercial.
What you gonna do? Are you on the couch? Get off the couch. Do something with your life.
Oh man, that's true. It's a great opportunity to iron some things out, to get yourself together in whatever ways you need to.
Yes, save your money, invest.
Okay.
Like move forward. Like you gotta do some different stuff. So
yeah,
I'd be interested to see how people pan out after this. How they look after this.
I'm interested. I'm interested in that as well, because there are people, including myself. Like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make sure I get this done. I'm gonna get that done. And
look, you put on your do well voice. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna spread it out. I'm gonna make this do
right. And it's like, let's see.
Yeah.
But it's just the whole state of the United States is crazy to me.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I guess it's buck wild, like from the president to the pandemic to the all these police killings and whatnot. It's just
I definitely and even people passing away, like just so many.
Man.
I feel like this is the biggest year of just people just I haven't really had anybody pass away in my life in a long time, but my grandma just passed away a couple months ago, and I'm like, man, like it's just a lot of people you're hearing on social media or just life itself just passing away this year. I don't know, it's just a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, my condolences to you and your family.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. My grandma was she was amazing. She was 89 years old, so she lived an amazing life, and she never got my name right all these years, so I don't. Until she passed away, she was always calling Andy. That's not my name. That's not my name. I had to yell in the ear a couple times. It's Anthony. And she still say Andy. Oh God, forget it.
She probably was saying Anthony.
She was saying Andy because she said it slow. She said it slow to me one time. It's Andy.
Oh, okay. I'm done. I thought my grandma was bad. She used to call me Lear. And I'm like, It's Leah. And, I wasn't about to correct her though. I wasn't about
No, you can't correct it. You
I
can't
would've
correct
got
grandma.
I would have got toe up.
Yeah. I did it really subtle. I just like, it's Anthony. That's it. I wasn't trying to get whooped. So
Say it and run a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something else. So between the two, Instagram or YouTube, which one do you like the most?
I like Instagram because I feel like YouTube I feel like they have a hard time finding you on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, especially my audience, because my audience it fluctuates, because it's like you get the real young, which they could tap into it real quick, and then you get the older people. They be like, "Where is it at again? Where is it, baby? What you got to type in? What's the name?" So I always have a hard time. But with Instagram, you just say, "This is my name." Put my name in, and then they could just look at all the content at once. So sometimes it's hard, and because and even with Facebook, I'll try to do it like that too. Just type my name in, and then you can just see all the videos. So I feel like it's easier for my audience. But now that I got a website, and sometimes I just tell them to go to the website, and then you could just look at all of the stuff at once. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier.
I was trying to find your website. What's your website address?
So you got to do the whole name. You got to do mrantdavis.com. And you can go there. You can look at my web series. You can look at the Instagram videos, Facebook videos, and then you can also book me there too. So,
all right, give the man some traffic on his website.
Give me some traffic. I need some of it.
That's what's up. So yeah, I think Instagram is pretty cool. It's easy to access. YouTube is cool in a sense that if you're eligible, you can have a dedicated URL with your name.
Yes.
So that's dope. But YouTube has changed so much over the years.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
It's so weird. Like, I've been on there since 2007, and I've had ups, I've had downs as far as like following, subscribers and stuff like that. But it's just like, I don't know, it's so commercial now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's you got to do a lot of tricks and stuff just to get a good hit on your stuff. So
I'm gonna flip the script on you. What do you like? What do you like better? You like Instagram or you like YouTube better?
At this point, I like Instagram.
Yeah,
I like that better. And back in the day, I used to be YouTube crazy. When they started changing everything, to me it became less user friendly.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like Instagram. Instagram is kind of like YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah, all in one.
Now they done made TikTok capabilities, because I guess I don't know, TikTok is leaving or whatever, but
that's what they're saying. That's the whole plan.
Right, that's what they're saying. Somebody was like, "Man, I'm so upset about TikTok about to be going away." I was like, "Purchase it."
Right. Exactly.
Right. But yeah, I know that's not a possibility. But
not gonna happen no time soon.
No, if I could purchase TikTok, then I could do a whole bunch of other stuff I need to do.
Right. It makes it easy for you.
Way easy. So are you from California? Or from Chicago?
So my dad was in the military. So my whole family's from the south side of Chicago, but I was an Army brat. So I call Washington State my home. So
really?
Tacoma, Seattle. That's where I was from. I've been there. I was there from, I want to say, 3rd grade to when I graduated from high school. Then I went to college, and then I came back. So I call it my home. It's my home, but I had to go. It was time to go. I feel like I was a big fish in a small pond.
Really?
Yeah, and then I came here, and I was a little tadpole in the ocean. So,
so do you really like it there?
In Cali? Oh, I love it.
California
I wanted to be here since 9th grade. So
okay.
Yeah, my parents used to come here all the time for vacation, and I was like, I'm gonna live here one day. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna live here, and so maybe 7 years ago, I decided to take that leap and come out here, and it's been amazing. I've had some, we've had some ups and downs, and people say, "You gonna make it, man. I know you will. We're gonna invest in you. Gonna do that," and then nothing ever happened. You
So,
know.
those famous words.
Oh man, if I had $1 for every time somebody said I'm gonna be famous, I would be a millionaire 10 times over. So I just get people that are real. You know, people always think, oh, you on Instagram, you famous, you living the high life, you doing all that, you making all the money. I'm not. I work a full-time job because child support is real out here in the streets.
What type of work do you do?
So I work for the Boys and Girls Club. I'm a assistant director there. So I work with like the youth sports, and we do functional fitness for the kids and stuff like that. So a lot of videos y'all see when I do the kids, it's definitely about them. It's about them all day long, 24/7.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. So I sprinkle in a little bit of them and then my kids and then how I grew up, and I just that's all of them in one. So yeah, I got a real job, a real
Yeah,
9 to 5.
it's not no joke out here. It's like people, and I can see that. People look at you. You upload a lot of videos. For whatever reason, they feel like they know you completely from uploading a video that ain't even 5 minutes long.
Yeah. Yes, it's funny too.
I know you.
I was just telling the story that the other day that I was actually out there at the Boys and Girls Club. We were working on the fields. We were working on the fields for the kids because they're about to have football. And I was cleaning up the fields, and the dude, this guy out of nowhere, was like, "I know you. Are you Mr. Davis?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why are you out here? I thought you was gonna be in Hollywood. You out here cleaning up kids stuff." And I'm like, "Hey, listen, this is a real job. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but I'm out here, making real money." And he was like, "Man, I just thought that you was successful in doing all that stuff." I was like, "Okay, thank you for crushing my bubble."
Right. Come on, sir.
Yeah, thank you for crushing my bubble. But it's real. Like, I'm not out here. I'm aspiring to be on that level, but I ain't there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm trying to be there.
Yeah, keep on going. Keep on
Oh
going.
yeah, I ain't stopping.
What's your favorite thing about comedy versus your least favorite thing?
Content is hard. I'll tell you my worst first. Content is hard to do when you are clean and when you are not doing everything everybody else is doing. Because like I said, I can count on my fingers how many people I know that are doing the clean stuff, and there's only it's very rare that you get successful people because people want to hear that raunchiness. People want to see the girls with the big booties wearing little to nothing. Because and no knock to people that are doing that, but I feel like there's little or no effort in that. It's easy to show this this fine woman. It's easy for you to pass out when you see a fine woman and make silly faces and stuff like that. I think that's easy, but to have to create content where you don't have all that is definitely hard for me.
That's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, because you got to create content against them. It's clean content against all the other content.
Right.
So that's the worst. But I'll tell you the best thing for me is reading people's comments or people messaging me and telling me how influential I have been in their lives. Because I feel like that's what I'm here to do is make you smile, make you laugh. And so to see that lets me know. I just got one from somebody yesterday and they was like, keep doing it. Like, you've helped me through the hardest times of my life. And so that's the thing that, makes me keep going is to hear stuff like that,
Yeah, that's what's up. So as far as doing a clean comedy and, have you ever felt pressure to do different?
Oh yeah, most of the time. It's
how do you cope with that, or how do you deal with it?
It's the hardest, but I just know it's not me. So if I was to do that, I wouldn't give you the 100% of who the genuine person. And I think that, and now in these days and age, people understand genuine people. They're like, nah, that ain't you. I know that ain't you. I don't even know why you're trying to do that. Like, have you ever heard somebody that don't curse and then they finally curse? You're like, that ain't even you. Why you even sound like that?
I mean, like, you don't even know how to cuss.
Yeah, you ain't even cussing good.
You ain't doing it right.
You ain't even doing it right. Yeah. So I know that I know that's not gonna be my genuine self. So that I know that's not gonna be my genuine self, I won't try it. And so that's kind of what keeps me in that, is that, and even people will try, oh man, put a girl in there and then be funny. And I'm like, but that's not my genuine self. That's not who I am. So that's really how I stick with it, is just anytime I get pressured to do something like that, I just know that, hey, it's not you.
Right.
And so that's what keeps me rooted in that.
Yeah. That's good because it's hard out here for a pimp.
Well, you a pimp, huh? We'll
No,
talk about that. We'll talk
I,
about that later. How
I
you
stopped
did.
being a pimp 3 years ago. No.
Oh, you graduated. You got your DeVry
Yeah.
degree. So you a pimp
How you
technology or
know it was DeVry?
I knew you went to DeVry, man. You got your pimp 101 certificate. So you teach other pimps, huh?
Right. So what made you start doing like I love how you take regular stuff that happens,
Mm-hmm.
at work or throughout your day, throughout your life, and just, what people say, what black people say, and what questions black people ask, and all that stuff is like, it's very, very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes it so freaking funny. Like, dude, that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
I know people be just hollering at the screen like that's me right there. Cause I be doing
Yeah. Yeah. I would say two things. One is white people hate when I do black people videos because they always be like,
it.
they always say, that's us. We do that too. I don't know why you always make it just about black people. And I'm like, listen, I'm black. That's what I
Exactly.
that's what I know. I know that black people do this all the time. Now, if you do that, that's fine. You can associate yourself with being black for like maybe 5 minutes, but after that, you ain't black, you white. Or vanilla, as y'all say. But I think for the
They're
most
trying to
part,
that's they comedy way saying all lives matter.
yeah, exactly. That's it. But I think since I've been young, since I've been little, I realize I'm an observant person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching. Like I'm sitting and I'm watching, and so I always get real life from that. Just being very observant, and it's bad too because at my church, people are scared to talk. They're scared to talk to me because
Are
they be
you
like,
serious?
you gonna use me in the video. I know it, so I'm not gonna give you no material, so you can so you can post me on there. And it's funny because I always tell people I'm not like that. That's not who it turns on and off. Like when
Yeah.
I'm here with y'all. Unless you fall or you do something crazy, then I'm like, okay, I got you. But other than that, I definitely observe all my surroundings. Everywhere I go, I'm observing you. So I'm watching you. My eyes is open.
So would you be a person that participates in a roast battle?
I could, but my friend a long time ago told me that you sometimes you hurt people's feelings when you do that roast because that real life comes out. You know
It
what I
does.
mean? It's like I'm musty all the time. You didn't tell me I was musty. Yeah, you've
Do I
been a
really
little
be having
tart.
stuff in my nose all the?
Right. You've been a little tart for years. We didn't tell you. You
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah,
I could do it, but it's hard sometimes.
a lot of times when people find out that I'm involved in comedy as well, they I used to drive for Lyft and Uber, right? Before people could spit on you up close real good. And I would sometimes have the flyers in the car if I was going to be in a show or something.
Right.
People be like, "Oh, you a comedian?" And it was two guys. They get in the car with me, and they're looking at the flyer, and they're like, "Oh, you a comedian?" One of them was like, roast
Oh,
me," and
what?
I was like, "Bro, I don't even know you. I don't know nothing about you, and
Right.
I'm driving, bro. I'm not about to turn around and be like, yeah, that hat you got on,
Yeah.
But I'm not. That's not a particular style that I don't even really get into that.
Yeah,
I watch.
I could tell you're a comedian too. You got that comedian voice too, so
Thank you.
I could definitely tell you're a comedian.
I watch. Every once in a while, I watch Wild and Out, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'm laughing, but then sometimes I'm like, oh man, that was so mean.
Oh man, they be coming for the juggler. They try to cut people's throats.
Dude. And I'm like, I know they gonna go home and cry.
Yeah, they gonna cry it out. They're gonna find a good wall and cry it all the way out.
I can't get into that. I can't.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
know people's feelings get hurt, and
Oh
I
yeah,
don't. I want people to laugh and call it a day. I don't.
yeah.
It's enough stuff going on in the world.
Well, it's crazy because one of my good friends, he's a comedian, stand-up comedian, hilarious, and he told me that too. Is like he could roast if he wanted to, but he
Hmm.
wants people to enjoy the moment because he said when he first started doing comedy, he was roasting people,
Like the
and
audience or whatever.
yeah, like the audience. And he said you could just see them like scrunch up or hide or be scared. And he's like, I want them to be able to enjoy themselves. This is a time where they're depressed, they're thinking about life. Life is hard. So I want to make them feel good. So now he flips it. Now he talks good, positive stuff to them, and they enjoy him. Like they come when I went to one of his shows, like people just enjoy his comedy just because he flipped it and like make them feel like they're having a good time. So yeah,
That's what.
I definitely understand that. I definitely understand
Yeah.
making people at ease.
Because when I first got into it, I mean, I've always watched comedy. I've always loved it, but when I first started going to shows, I was afraid to go to the show, and
Uh-oh.
I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna sit in the front because then I'm right there. All
Mm-hmm.
right, I'll make sure I don't get in there late because when you come in there late, they're gonna say something.
Oh yeah, they come for
And
you.
I'm like, if you sit all the way in the back, they're gonna point you out because you all the way in the back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so I had this like somewhat paranoia about going because I didn't want them to roast me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And some of my friends, when I started going to shows a lot, and I would invite them, I'm like, come on, they real funny, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
and they weren't roasting people.
right.
They weren't doing that, and they're like, I don't know. And then like I took one friend, and I'm like, let's sit up here in the front,
All the way in the front.
right? Because I'm blind, So she like, I don't think we should sit up there because I'm not ready for them to start messing with me. I was like, I promise you, ain't nobody gonna mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
So people actually have that
Oh
nervousness
yeah.
a
Oh yeah,
lot.
big time, big time, big time, big time. So yeah, you just got to be careful because you definitely want people to enjoy themselves. Like I
Right.
really want, I said I flipped it too. Like I said, I flipped it too. One of my friend was telling me about that, just the positivity. You know what I mean? Like he does that a lot, and it's hilarious, but yet it still makes them feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they're there. So
Be
I
like,
understand.
look at them shoes you got on.
Yo.
Those nice. Take them out real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what's up. So, would you be interested in doing a Netflix show?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Actually, I'm trying to pitch one, actually a TV show idea that I have to Netflix right now, just because I like it. I like how they're doing it, and
Mhm.
they're actually looking for content right now because the way the world is, they're gonna be trying to pick up all types of stuff. So I encourage people who are writers or have an idea to put it together because, like I said, once this world opens up again, they're gonna be looking for all types of people, all shapes and sizes, and
Yeah.
you better be ready. You better be like, I don't know, I was laying down and eating all the
You
time.
better get up.
Yeah, you better get up and figure it out. So yeah, most definitely, I would love to be anywhere, any streaming service. They gave me an
Mhm.
opportunity to do that. I would love to pitch my idea to them.
Do you think it's a slight toward Black people? Because I know we, had the Monique situation or whatever, but I'm seeing a lot of Black creators, content creators doing their thing.
Yeah,
And uh, so I see the opportunities there. I don't know if that maybe sparked to make it more opportunities,
yeah,
but
because
what
you see Netflix right now, they're getting a lot of Black content.
they are.
Like one of their actual thumbnails is strong Black leads. So it's more and more you can see content that they're creating. So I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's up. So as far as so you do acting as well?
Oh yeah. So I did actually did stage maybe like 15 years ago. I keep saying 15. And that's how you're getting old because you can't remember the ages and the years. You like 15 carry to one. That's 12. It's about it may be about 15 or 20 years that I started doing stage. I did stage plays.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how I kind of got a lot of my characters. So if you watch a lot of the videos and I come out with different characters, it's because of stage. So I've been acting for a long time, and then I just kind of brush up my chops every now and then. I have a one-on-one theater coach. She's amazing, and so
Mm-hmm.
we just kind of go at it because she always tells me be prepared because you never know what's going to
Yeah.
happen. You don't want to get up there and just say I'm a content creator. I can't act. You want to be able to do both. So. And I try to be a triple threat. She always used to tell me that be a triple threat, be able to do stand up, be able to do TV and movies, be able to write, do all that. So I do it all.
So as far as writing, how often do you write?
Ooh, I write. So I write every Saturday. I write Monday through Wednesday because I have a team that I write with Monday through Wednesday, and then I have a team I write at night, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So really, my days off are Fridays. I try not to
Mhm.
write anything on Fridays just to kind of clear my head. But I did not find myself writing on Fridays because I also have a TV show idea that I want to write that's myself. So I've been writing that too. So yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much I write every day. Now that I think about it,
That's so
I had
smart.
to think about it, but yeah, I write every day. That's not good. I need a break.
Some people say it is good to write every day, even if it's just for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, because it's crazy. Like 2 weeks ago, I went to Long Beach just for a vacation. I need to get away and just be next to the beach and enjoy it or whatever. And I ended up writing. I was like, why am I writing? And I wrote a whole day, just sat down writing. And that wasn't the plan. The plan was to go to the beach and sit there and relax, but that didn't happen.
Is writing relaxing?
It could be stressful. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Like it sometimes it's relaxing, but then when you get stuck, you get like, oh man, I got to figure out what's the next thing.
Right.
And I'm a perfectionist,
Okay.
so I'll write something and then just all the way out and start over again and be mad at myself because I took all that time. So
Yeah.
it's a gift and a curse. It's definitely relaxing, but sometimes it can be stressful as well.
Yeah. I can attest to that. It's been many a notebooks where I done
Mm-hmm.
ripped the page, balled it up like, nah.
Not gonna happen.
Like, let me
Yeah.
start over. Sometimes I have to take a deep breath and be like, you know what? I'll come back to that.
Man, as long as you're doing it, that's why I
Yeah.
tell people as long as you do it, don't stop doing it. Write out. Some people just have different processes of writing.
Mm-hmm.
For mine is creating a web of things. So I'll start with an idea in my mind and I'll just web it out, and then from there I start doing character development. I'll start doing how I want my different episodes to look. And so by the time I get done with that, then it makes writing easier. It's like, oh, okay, well I can do this and I can do this. Um, so that's the easiest thing. But the hardest thing is, like I said, once you get something and then it's like, this is terrible, and then you just delete it or throw it in the trash and then be mad the whole day because you wasted 5 hours on nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like the webbing thing. That's a good
Oh
idea.
yeah, the web is good because I'll tell you this, and people don't know this, is that with my videos, they're freestyle. So I don't ever write a script down. I don't ever write. I may write the idea of what, like I may say, things black moms say, but I
And then
don't
you
ever.
just go for it.
I just go. I just take the camera. I'll say it and then I'll stop it. I'm like, oh, that sucked, and I'll just say it again, or I'll exaggerate it, to the
Mhm.
high, So, but I never write any ideas down. That's why I think sometimes it's hard for me to do it with people because
Mhm.
in my mind I'm like, I want it to go like this, and if you don't sound like that, then I just don't want to do it. So I actually did a video with one of my neighbors one time because I had a good idea and I wanted him to be in it, and it just didn't go well. He just wasn't landing the ideas that I had in my head, so I had to scratch the whole thing and just do it myself.
Wow. You had
Just
to be the neighbor and you.
I had to be the neighbor and me because, like I said, I freestyle a lot of my videos.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of hard to work like that with the videos. Now with web series and stuff, it's easy because I write it out and then it makes it easier. And then we have a director on there and they teach them kind of how they want the lines to go. But doing a video with somebody is hard, definitely.
So as far as like stand up, do you have like an outline in your head? Do you go up there and you just talk? Like how do you do your stand up?
So I have an outline in my head. So I freestyle a lot. So because I found out that me writing jokes down sometimes is hard. So I kind of just write
Me
down,
too.
yeah, I kind of write down my order. So the order of how I want things to go. So like if I have this joke about my dad, because my dad was a pastor growing up. So I'll stay within those. So I'll talk about him as a pastor, how he treated us when he was a pastor,
Mhm.
and I'll go down that line. So I'll stay in that. And then after I'm done, I'll move to my mom. I'll talk about her. So it's just an outline of my jokes and then just remembering certain little tickers that I want to talk about during the outline. But it's hard. People always like, you can just write down your jokes. I'm like, how you do that? I have no idea how you write down jokes.
I've tried that and fail. It
Yeah,
has been a
me
fail
too.
for me.
Me
I have
too.
I have an idea in my head, like what I want to talk about, and I just go from there. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's even like I'll make stuff up in my head. It will
Right.
have like some fiction, some real stuff in it,
Oh
and
yeah.
then like I'll say it out loud, just with
Hmm.
myself. And then
Hmm.
when I go to do it on camera or either at the show or whatever,
Right.
I start adding stuff or so
Hmm.
it takes on a different turn. But as far as like, okay, I'm gonna write this down, it's just like, I'm not a slam artist. I do poetry, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that's gonna memorize a poem. I'm gonna read it, But
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's just like with the jokes and stuff. I can't do that writing it down.
You know what I do sometimes too is because I have a theater background too, I create it as a monologue too. So
Okay.
sometimes if I have my points or whatever, I'll create it in my head. Like I'll kind of go through it. So I will do that. So sometimes I'll record myself before
Mm-hmm.
I have to do stand up, and then I'll listen to myself, and then I'll create it as a monologue. Like, oh, okay, I can say this, or I won't say that, or I'll give myself room to add certain things at the show because there's sometimes you'll see somebody and it
Right.
reminds you of something. So
Something might happen on the way to the show.
something might happen on the way to the show. And my friend always used to tell me, come to the show an hour before the show. So you can kind of scope out the building and maybe add that stuff in there.
Yes,
So
yes.
I do a lot of that too. I'll go early and I'll look at, somebody had a single stall bathroom with 8 men in there. Why do we have a single stall bathroom? People trying to have conversations in a single stall bathroom. Hey brother, what's going on? How you doing? You all right?
Oh my goodness.
Why you
Yeah.
so why you so close? Why you so close to me?
So as far as like jokes and I know people have their favorite jokes or favorite stories they like to tell. What are your thoughts on repeating the same thing over and over again?
I said like this: singers do it. Singers
Yeah.
they take the same song and they sing it over and over again. Now, if I have a different crowd, I will definitely try. Or no, I take that back. If I have a crowd that I've done before, you
Hmm.
definitely want to have new material. But like when we used to travel and do jokes or whatever, I'd be like, man, these people ain't never heard these jokes before.
Yeah, in that sense, it's cool. But if you're a local comedian and
Oh yeah,
you're going to the poppy cop down the street,
poppycock.
yeah, and every week is pretty much the
Oh,
same crowd there.
no, you can't do that. You have to have new material with that. I would just only say if you're traveling, you definitely keep your same material. But I always say it like this: if you're doing the local poppy top, you definitely want to have you definitely want to have new material. But
Yeah,
I say this: all comedians, to me, great comedians are observant comedians. So you can take life and you make it into jokes every day. So I mean, if
yeah,
that's the case, you use that every time you go to every time you go to that same local shop and just
yeah,
create from there. And it'll help you have an arsenal of jokes. So you can have an hour and 2 hours of jokes if you keep creating like that.
yeah. Because it's so funny when I told a couple of my friends, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on the show, so and so, blah 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 day. And they're like, I got some brutal friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
They don't care. They'd be like,
They
look, if you're gonna be repeating the same jokes all the time, I'm not going.
right, not
I'm
happening.
not about to follow you around if you're gonna keep telling the one about the chicken that had fell on the floor and you picked it up and licked it anyway. I don't want to hear that no more.
But I would say that is also a gift and a curse too, because you get different reactions from other
Yeah,
areas. So like, yeah, that friend may say, "Oh, I'm getting tired of hearing that," but I'm telling you, laughter can change your whole concept of a joke. You know what I
they
mean?
can.
Because you'll get a at the poppy top you'll get a yeah, whatever, and then at the other one you'll get that's hilarious, man, you crazy, and
Exactly.
it changes the perspective of the joke. So I mean, because that's what I said. That's what happened to me. I did I did stand up. Where was I at? I forgot where I was at. I did a stand up somewhere like a little small area, And then I went to East LA when there was a whole bunch of a Spanish crowd, and they loved the joke. I mean, like on the floor, dude gave me some personal coin that he got from the army. He's like, yeah, I was in the field, I was fighting, and this coin represents you. And I'm like, all right, I guess, I guess if you gonna give me the coin,
I can't.
but yeah, but but I mean, it just depends on the audience. The audience may
Yeah.
make the joke amazing, and another audience may be like, it was cool.
And sometimes I found, because there's a comedian here, I've followed her around like a whole bunch, right? Shout out to Coco the comic.
Shout out to Coco the comic. I don't even know you, but shout out to you.
But Coco, she can tell a joke, just her delivery. The way her delivery is, I don't care. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be like, I know it, but I just want to hear it again, you know?
Exactly.
And it's like, it was one time, I took a friend of mine to a show and she was going to be there. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, she tell the one about the taco meat. She tell the one about turkey meat on, and she didn't do it. And I'm like, dang, you know, but yeah, it's like some of them, depending on how their style of delivery is.
Yeah, most definitely.
They could, and then you could put a spin on something you've told before. So that's always cool too.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I was just gonna say times change and it can change the narrative of a joke too.
And the guy I was telling you about that does stand-up comedy, he told me that too. He said there's layers to jokes. Yeah. So once you perfect that small part of it, then you can just add more and more. You can make that joke. Yeah, you can make that joke that was 2 minutes, 3 minutes into a 10-minute, stretch of just jokes. So that's what I'm learning too, is just like and I hate other comedians who say, I know me, I know how to do comedy, I don't need no advice from nobody. And that to me is why you're gonna die in the comedy game, because you do need
to keep it's a continuous learning process.
Yeah, so he always does that. He always tells me, add this, change this, do this, you know your voice, know how your presence, because he said a lot of times when you get on stage, people will just want to be like you're having a conversation. Like it's not a reciting, like you're not reciting jokes. It's like, you making them feel a part of that world, like we best friends.
Right.
And so now my approach is like that. It's not like me just shoveling out jokes. It's me having a conversation with you so you can laugh,
Yeah, I love it when somebody is just, it feel like you said, like you having a conversation with them and they're just talking and just randomly just saying stuff. And it's like, you're just like cracking up and they probably don't even remember what they said.
Man, I'm telling you, like that to me is the biggest thing. I think I was in I did comedy in Orlando one time and I said something and they was on the floor crying, and the dude after the show was like, remember you had said that? And I was like, I have no idea what just happened. Like it was funny, but I don't even remember the joke, you know what I mean? So yeah, that makes sense. I definitely understand that.
Yeah, when you freestyle, that happens.
It does. Yeah, most definitely it happens.
Yeah, I enjoy that though. Like I go live for lunch every week on Thursday.
Okay, live for lunch. I like that.
Yeah, well, it's called Lunchtime Chat, but and sometimes I just be saying stuff because I'm just I'm talking about my job, talking about the cat, whatever,
Oh, you a cat lady?
Yeah, I am. Although my cat acts like a dog, so
okay. I got
the best of both worlds. Meow, bark, bark, So I just, I get to talking and don't let me start ranting about the job. And they'd be like, "Oh, you crazy!" Like they'll be commenting the videos, and they'll be like, "So and so and so," and it got something to do with what I said. And I'm like, I've had to say.
Refresh my memory.
I need you to tell me what I was saying because I would have to go watch the whole thing over.
Yeah.
So that's that freestyle.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand that. It's been plenty of moments where it's like, let me know again. Even on the videos, somebody will say something. They'll pick a small something from the video that I said, and I'm like, say it again. I said what?
Yeah.
And I have to go back and watch the video so I can hear it, and I'm like, that ain't even that funny.
Right. I've done that too. I'm like, what was funny about that?
Yeah.
I just be sitting there lost. But it's cool how everybody's different. Everybody's an individual, and it's like you could have 10 people watching you, and all 10 of them might have 10 different things that you said that cracked them up that the other person didn't crack up about. So I just love comedy, period. It's just dope.
Me too. I like every aspect of it. I do like that people have their own wave of, like, people sometimes they sit and they like critique them, or they say, oh, this is terrible. I hate how they did that video. But I love it. I love, people's uniqueness and how. Now I will say this. I will get a video and I'll be like, you know what? I can make that different. Let me try it. Let me put my spin on how that video could have been. But for the most part, I'm a fan of comedy. Like, I love to just, my whole page is comedy, and then the shade room and Hollywood Unlocked, because I like to hear all the celebrity stuff. But other than that, it's just comedy. It's definitely comedy all day long.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, I have enjoyed talking to you.
You know what? Me too. I like talking to other comedians and people and you had good questions too, because sometimes people be making up questions like, so what type of sandwich you like? I'm like, I don't ham and turkey. What?
Jimmy John. I don't know.
Yeah, I never know. I'm like, I don't really know how that goes. So
yeah,
I definitely like the questions.
I try to make this where it's just a conversation. I really don't want it to be like a interrogation. Like, hey, so where you from? Who you with?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll definitely get that. I had one time I was on a live, and I think a lady was trying to hit on me for real, because she was like, so are you married? Do you have kids? How long you been married? I'm like, I don't really want to answer those questions. I just want to talk about the comedy stuff. Let's talk about that.
Is this an auction?
Yeah, right. Y'all put me on Tingle or Tinder or whatever. What's really going on?
Yeah, I don't. A lot of people, if I invite them on, some of them be like, I don't answer questions about so and so, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't even ask those questions, bro. I don't want to know that. I want to know about your career.
Yeah, exactly.
How you got started in your business or whatever.
Because
it's enough of that. It's enough of all that people trying to get all in your business and everything.
All in my and I would tell you this. I am a private person. Like, I will tell you about my family, but for the most part, and I was just talking to my friend the other day. Matter of fact, she's from Michigan. She's from Detroit.
Oh yeah. Hey, shout out.
Yeah, I can't tell her name because I'm private. But anyway,
that's okay.
But yeah, I was just telling her the other day. I was like, man, I just don't like everybody trying to pick everything. And I get it. Some people like bringing their families in there and doing all that, but I've never been that type of person. I've tried it one time, and you saw that. I fanned out, but I've just always been a very private person. So I'm on when I'm on, and I'm off when I'm off. So that's how it works.
Every once in a while, somebody might end up in a video I do. Like at work, one of my coworkers might end up in the background or something, but for the most part, I just like doing them myself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. And if I do start doing videos with another person, it'd be another comedian. So it won't be with like a family member the closest I've ever had to a family member being in a video. Well, you saw those, but also just hold the camera. Just hold it. Just hold the camera and do that. That's it. So, that's pretty much it. And my kids don't think that I'm that funny. So
really?
Because people always say, man, if I was holding the camera, I'd be laughing all the time. I'd be crying laughing. My kids don't even be paying attention. They just be like, all right, I got it. I got the video. I got it like you wanted it. All right, thank you.
I said that about it's another guy. He does Steve Harvey and Denzel Washington impressions and wears the cap on his head. So young. And oh man, when he shows like the outtakes and stuff for the video, whoever's holding that camera is dying.
Man. Yeah, my kids do not care. They only reason why they knew that I was big on social media was their friends. Their friends like, that's your dad? Your dad's on it? And they did me like this. Yeah, that's him. I'm like, oh
man.
Crucial.
Right.
Crucial.
It's showtime at the Apollo.
Yeah, listen, I had it was so bad. I had one time where somebody recognized me when I was out and I was with my son. And And they knew it. My son knew it. He was like, "Oh, they know who you are. They know who you are. They're about to come over here. Let me just go ahead and walk away before they make me hold their camera and take a picture." he
Like,
he he walked away so fast. He was like, "No, I'm not about to be
like
in this.
I'm not in this.
Yeah, not gonna happen."
That's what's up.
Yeah,
Oh man. Well, I appreciate you being on. And keep doing what you're doing.
I
You are
appreciate that.
absolutely hilarious. And I could show you to my grandma, even though
Yeah.
she passed away back in 94. I can
Oh,
still
you still showing the tour from heaven? Like you just
yeah.
you put it up there and say, "Here,
Or
grandma."
I put the ashes in front of the TV, But yeah, it's cool. I watch all type of things, but I love it when I could play something and not be like, oh, let me turn it.
Yeah.
Because I still feel like that, even though I'm grown.
Yeah, you
You know,
grown. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been grown for a while,
Right. You grown. You own your own cat and dog,
Right. So,
Right.
but it's just like, I don't. I could be at work. I could be just in my car or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
like it's real raunchy or something. I'm just like,
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I'm
I
like you.
don't.
I'm the same way. And I have kids, so it's hard for me to try to watch content and it's all that going on because I wouldn't want them to. I mean, I definitely want them to make their own mind up of who they
Mhm.
are and but it's hard. Like, and even at work, I got to put my headphones in if I want to watch a video, but they like, got all the stuff all over the place. So yeah, I get that. We're in the same boat when it comes to that.
Yeah. So throw us a golden nugget. Some advice for up and coming comedians or people that are aspiring to be a comedian, and let us know any contact information you want to let the viewers know about.
Okay. Well, my golden nugget is super simple, and it's this: do it. Like I have a lot of people who message me and say, "I don't know how to do this, and I'm scared to do that." And listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'll be scared sometimes. I'm scared. I'm very fearful. My dad used to always tell me is because he's a very religious person, and I still believe it to this day. Is that when you're nervous, that means you're allowing God to use you. When you're like when you're cocky and confident and I'm gonna do this, I got this, and you normally gonna fail because you think you could do it on your own. So I always just know that it's fear. You're gonna have some fear. You're gonna think you may not think the video. Listen, I have a ton of videos that I'm like, this is not gonna be funny. It's not gonna be relatable. But you just got to start doing it. Just try it. See what
Yeah.
happens. And if it sucks, it sucks. At least you tried it.
Yeah.
And then people have to understand this too, is you got to be consistent. Like people just think they do one video and it's going to blow up. I'm doing one time and I'm gonna get a deal and, people going to share it. And I'm like, that don't happen like that.
It
You
sure
know what I
does.
mean? So I just had somebody share my video a couple years ago, but it didn't change nothing. I'm not, I'm not out. I'm not out in Hollywood making millions of dollars. You
Right.
got to keep doing it. Sharing doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, some celebrity doesn't mean anything. You just got to be consistent at what you do and keep doing it. So that's my advice. Be consistent. Do it.
Right.
Don't keep asking yourself over and over again if you should do it. Just do it. Try it. See what happens.
Right.
So yeah, and then you can my contact, you can follow me at mrantdavis on all my social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter. We was talking about it yesterday, MySpace. I don't even have a MySpace. So I don't even
Still make that?
they still make MySpace.
Wow.
I tried to go to MySpace and type in my old password and it was denied. So I mean, like I don't even know.
I'm worse than that. I tried to go find Black Planet, but whatever.
Black Planet is no longer.
Right.
All planets matter. That's
okay. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go at mrantdavis for all of my outlets, and then if you can't find that, we have older ladies that I always have the older women that can't find stuff. You can go to mrantdavis.com to go to the website. I'm actually about to start doing some merchandise, so be on the lookout for that, and then also some other good stuff is going to be coming. So just go to mrantdavis.com if you want to see all of that in its entirety.
That's what's up. Well, thank you, Mr. Anthony Davis. I appreciate
you. Thank you. You said my whole government. You said my whole government name.
I know, right? That's so they remember the website. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep looking at your content. I gotta check out the web series though. I didn't get that far yet.
Okay, check it out.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you for watching, and make sure you send any inquiries to info@experience.com. Comedy is life.